Hello and welcome to the Grow Landscapers 10-minute business tips series, a show that gives you bite-sized nuggets of wisdom in just 10 minutes. I'm Nick Ruddle and today's guest is Principal BALI award-winning garden designer Lucy Wilcox. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, Nick. How are you?
I'm very good, very good.
Good.
Been looking forward to this one for a long time.
Me
You're a
too.
busy lady and all
Yeah.
on great stuff. Now famous on TV and all that kind of stuff with Mr. Titchmarsh.
I know.
But right, you know the drill because you've
Yeah.
listened to the others already. I'm going to set my stopwatch up and then ask you
Okay.
for your first tip. So here we go. What's your first tip, Lucy?
So I found this a really interesting process getting ready for this because it's a very strange thing to say, but I've never considered myself as a business person per se
Mm,
because I run a design practice. So what I've really tried to pull upon, I guess, are my business values and the things that are important to me of
mm,
how I run my design practice. It is obviously a business, but it's a design practice.
mm,
So just to give you a little bit of context of how I started, I used to produce TV commercials and I retrained in 2006 into
mm.
garden design.
Okay.
And since then, it's just been me, myself, and I. Apart from a couple of projects, two projects where I co-designed with another designer, since then it's just been me.
Mm,
And there are a couple of things that I've pulled upon from my experience of working in the ad industry, of things that I definitely kind of use in my day-to-day business. My first point is I feel it's really important to be your brand. So
mm,
it's a very personalized process designing somebody's garden, especially in the face of social media now. I think it's really important that you emulate your brand, that your personality comes through, and to be a true extension of yourself. You have to differentiate yourself. There's a lot of people in the marketplace now. As designers, when I first started out in 2006, obviously social media wasn't anywhere near as big as it is now. And I think it's a really brilliant platform for people to be able to see the real you, the authentic you. You know, your website is a really good shop front to show what your product is and what you produce and the quality of your work. But you really need to, I think it's important to understand your brand because there is a really important part of the process of when you're attracting people, clients, is the right chemistry there? Do they think that they can work with you? Because it's a personal process. It's that it's an
100%.
incredibly important one. So that I think for me was understanding your marketing. If you want to stand out and above other people, make sure that your brand is really strong.
100%, 100%.
Yeah,
And what you represent, your brand values must
exactly.
reflect your values, which is, your personality and
Yeah,
differentiating yourself. Otherwise, you're just another
yeah.
designer, aren't you?
Indeed. And I think it's a really good way to show your passion, talk about the things that really excite you, why you've designed certain gardens the way that you have, principles that you work to. But yeah, use it as a sales platform. It's
Yeah,
there and it's a brilliant tool.
yeah. Enthusiasm is infectious as well, and I think
Well,
to attract the
exactly.
right people, you've got to be an attractive, sort of like-minded. You need to resonate with those people.
100%. And I think that's another thing that if you can do that, you'll attract the right people that want to work with you. And then you'll
100%.
find they'll be the right fit. I'm incredibly lucky. Always have a really good pool of clients. And I
Mm.
do feel that some of that definitely comes because they think, well, yes, I'd really like to work with her.
Yeah,
I like the way
like-minded,
she.
same style, same kind of people.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
same taste.
Exactly. Yeah. Same
Excellent.
thing.
Okay, and
That
so
kind of runs into my next point
okay.
because for me, one of the most important parts of the process in this design process of business is the importance of collaboration.
Mm,
Collaboration across the board. So collaborating with your clients, with architects, with interior designers, with landscapers and suppliers. At the end of the day, we're producing an end product for a client, and you've got to make sure that everybody in that process is all understanding the vision, understanding the concept, understanding what the clients want. The collaboration for me with landscapers is probably one of the most important parts of the process because I need them to understand my vision. And I'm well aware that without them, without really good, high quality landscapers, we wouldn't be able to produce the end product for the client. So it's also that level of communication. So in that collaboration, make sure that you've got a really good level of communication, really good set of drawings, making sure that you have got a really good tender package. So that part of that business model of having those values and that running all the way through.
So important, so important. That's with all of our landscaper clients. We have a strategic alliance strategy, and
Right.
and you've got to have aligned values with those strategic alliances as well.
Definitely.
You've got to be on the same wavelength. You know, you might meet some if you actually don't quite get on with them. It's not quite right,
No,
whether it's a style
no,
or whether it's just a relationship.
definitely.
But for the ones that are, then you know that they could be so successful. You know,
So
and
successful.
ongoing forever.
Yeah,
You know.
forever, for a very long time. And I learnt that skill from working in TV production, because
Yeah.
it's the same thing. You're working on a you know, with a massive crew and working with clients. I was working with, you know, across the board. It's the same thing. If you think about credits at the end of a film, it's exactly the same process. You know,
Yeah.
you've got to pull that team together. It's the same thing. So I was
Yeah.
really lucky that I had that as a background.
Yeah, who would have thought? That's amazing, isn't it? But the same principle applies.
It's the same skill set. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same skill set. It's the same set of values, same set of principles. So I was really lucky to have that for 10 years and then to be able to pull it in. So I don't know if that's what really helped me launch my career very early on, very quickly,
Mm,
because I understood that process of how important it was, from clients all the way down to my crew.
yeah, it probably did help you because I think leverage is
Definitely.
one of the best ways to look at things. So if you leverage, you use, you know, one door can open the door to many. So I think that speeds things up, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Getting
And
everyone doing it.
understanding everybody's value in that process.
Yeah,
No
everyone has a
matter
part
who
to
they
play.
are in the process, even if they're making a cup of tea to the
Yeah,
people that's supplying, you know, everybody is as valuable in that process because it's a team effort.
especially the team maker. Absolutely.
Definitely. That's how I got a lot of my jobs, making a really
Yeah,
good cup of tea as a
yeah.
runner.
Well, that's
We'll
it. You've got
keep
to
her
start
because she makes
somewhere.
a good cup of
Yeah,
tea.
yeah. I'm sure you had lots of other values as well.
Yeah, definitely did.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Excellent. So collaboration, absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
So third one.
Third one, well, it kind of runs again, they're all sort of running into each other, but that collaboration of trusting your gut instinct and listening to your gut to work out whether you can work with somebody or not. And that is working in two ways, not only when it's a negative gut feeling, but when it's a positive gut feeling. So from the first phone call with clients, is this the right fit? Is this going to work? Am I right for them? Are they right for me? Same thing with landscapers. Are these landscapers the right landscapers for my clients?
Yeah.
Or in the design process, is my gut telling me that this is wrong for this garden, or is my gut telling me that this is right for this garden? If this is right for this garden, you know, work with that, expand upon it. At the end of the day, you know, we are, as designers, we're problem solvers.
Mm.
And to listen to that gut, I mean, I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit, but to listen to your gut instinct all the way through is incredibly important.
Yeah, it's not having criteria. So the values are right. Are these the right collaboration people, you know,
Yeah.
partners? Do I get a good feel for that? I think it was our friend Gareth Wilson who actually, I think he mentioned that on his podcast, but he
Yes.
always listens to your gut. And I think his mum said to him, like, if it doesn't feel right, son, it's not right. You know, something
No,
not quite right. And we can dismiss that. But
totally.
often we can think, oh, kick ourselves because you've got to listen to it. There's something there.
Very true.
Intuitively, there's something there.
Exactly. You know, listen to that intuition, but and run it across the board for everything that you do.
Yeah. It's like that little sort of nagging doubt in your head, and it's there
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yes.
Brilliant. They're really good ones. And there's a couple of other questions.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, I've got for you. First one is, you know, we want to make sure we can attract more people to the brilliant industry that is the landscaping
Mm.
industry. What
Mm.
do you think could be done to attract more people?
Well, I absolutely love this industry and I feel very grateful that I'm in it, and I'm definitely going to be doing it until or hopefully till my dying day. I
Yeah,
have
long
no
time.
intention, a long time, yeah, I have no intention of stopping. And what I love when I'm in the industry, I love the industry for lots of different things. I love it of how diverse it is, how many different career choices you can have from being an agriculturalist to being a QS to being a landscape architect, designer, you know, across the board, there's so many
Right.
things that you can do. When I go to industry events, I love speaking to people to find out how they got into the industry. I always find that a really interesting pattern. And I think that's something
Mm,
that will help us move forward, attracting more people into the industry. The one thing that I find is really fascinating, I'm dyslexic, is how many neurodiverse people we have in this industry.
yeah.
And how, as neurodiverse people, we don't necessarily fit the academic mold. And there is an amazing skill set in people who are neurodiverse. I'm not saying that we can't attract neurotypical. I'm just saying that I think in a school scenario that there's a way that we should be going in and speaking to schools and speaking to careers advisors, because we're only just really scratching the surface of understanding the benefits of being neurodiverse. My benefit of being dyslexic as a designer is that I can see things in a 3D capacity. My brain works in a very different way. School was not my place. When I came out of school and I went into the creative industries, that's where I flew. When you speak to landscapers who've got ADHD, they're hyper focus that they need in their landscaping. Designers who've got ADHD, I think that there's an incredible pool of people who are being dismissed in the academic sense, who actually their skill set is really important for us in this industry. Even people who've got autism. Or who've got autism who specialize in certain things, whether they're working as a grower or whether they're working a tree nursery. I mean, I know that I'm sort of casting off neurotypical, but I'm just talking about attracting a different pool and a different skill set of people in industry.
The amount of people and business owners as well who are dyslexic. Richard Branson's a good example.
Yeah, amazing entrepreneurs.
Winston Churchill was. So, you know, but in the school system, you get labelled, and if you can't retain information or you can't be quick enough to write, you're sort of scored down, which is absolutely shocking. But in this industry and business owners generally, I think 60% of business owners, I heard a stat, are dyslexic. It's because they couldn't do the school stuff. So it created drive to do something for themselves because they, you know, get frustrated.
That was my drive entirely.
Yeah, it's interesting. So one final question is for you personally, as a business owner, because you are a business owner.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you personally do to keep growing and learning yourself?
I'm completely obsessed by what I do, and I eat and breathe it. So and every day for me is a school day. And the thing that I love about my job is that every site is different, every client is different, every design execution is different, every solution is different, which means that I'm continually learning. However, on top of that, I'm doing courses, I'm reading books. I never think that the learning ever ends in this industry, and to make the presumption that you know everything is an impossibility. You can't.
Dangerous day,
it's a dangerous thing, because once you rest on that, you're going to miss something. You have to be, and also it's that thing, isn't it? You know, I want to be at the top of my game. I still think I'm not at the top of my game. I strive and strive and strive because I want to get bigger and better at what I do, and I want to be able to have the knowledge base to be able to do that. So I'm listening to podcasts, as I said. I read all the time and do loads of courses. It never ends. It's wonderful. That's what I love about it.
It's boring if you not keep learning. And if you're not learning, your competitors are, then eventually they're going to overtake you. So keep ahead of the game, haven't you?
Totally. I mean, it's not really about that. It's about personal goals for me. It's not. I never compare myself to other people in that way. But I just love it. I'm just obsessed.
What a wonderful way to end that. I think for you being obsessed, keep being obsessive and keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing brilliant things. And now you're on with Alan Titchmarsh, and you're going to become famous. There we go.
I mean, I have to say, felt so privileged to be asked to be on this. Some of the industry leaders that you've had on the podcast when you first asked me, I was like, wow, I was really blown away, actually. So thank you so much.
More than deserve, to be honest. So I really appreciate you making the time and sharing your words of wisdom. We'll release this in the next few days, and people can benefit from that for years to come.
Great.
Thanks, Lucy. I'll say goodbye to you now. I'll let you get on with your day.
Thank you, Nick.
For being a guest. I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.